Coming up next hour, Ken Kleiber is going to be with us. And if all goes well, he's going to bring two very special guests with him. You know them as Thor and Jackie. Yes, Stephen Wallem and Edie frickin' Falco, okay, from Nurse Jackie, are going to be with us. They're doing a new show called The New Steve Edie. So we'll talk to them when we return to The Frank Show here on LQ Sirius 109 XM 98. Kenny Kleiber says Edie Falco and Stephen Wallem are going to be joining us. You know them from Nurse Jackie, but they're doing a show on stage this weekend in New York, and it's called The New Steve Edie. And then we're just going to play Penny Can until they get here.
Until they get here.
He sees every musical and every play. He's on a first-name basis with Liza May. He's a great white gay on the great white way. He's Broadway's own Kenny K. That's Kentertainment.
Yes, it's that time. Kenny Kleiber.
Well, Frankie DeCaro, hi, and Doria.
Hi, Kenny.
Now, you told us you were going to bring us some very special guests on the occasion of our 7th anniversary, which is, in fact, today.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And I thought, when you told me who it was, I was like, oh, yeah, right. Okay, that was kind of, I didn't say that, but inside was,
he doubted you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Frank,
right.
Have I ever let you down? Wait, don't mention it.
No, it's okay, you haven't. So I just want to, without naming her name yet, is she listening?
Yes.
Okay, this will be this trivia question to know if it's true.
Okay.
Who jazzed up the line, "Can't you be a good Catholic for 15 fucking minutes"? Who jazzed up that line from the script by adding the F word? Who did that?
Rosemary April.
Okay. It was not! Anyway, but that is Edie Falco. We know that. And she's there with Stephen Wallem, and I'm so tickled that they're there because they're the new Steve and Edie. Not only are they...
Yes!
I think we've been trying to avoid the word new.
Yes.
We're going with other.
Yes, the other Steve and Edie, yes. Which is...
There's nothing new about us, I'm sorry to say.
You also don't want to burn any bridges, if you know what I mean.
Right, so
I mean, I don't know what I mean.
Yeah, they're still working. The real Steve and Edie are still working. We don't want to bump them yet.
As your anniversary present to both of you, I brought you Stephen Wallem and Edie Falco, who both are currently starring on Nurse Jackie, and also going to be in The Other Steve and Edie this weekend in New York City. And so I thought, well, my gosh, we have to bring in The Other Steve and Edie.
Here we are.
But you're kind of like the Steve and Edie now, because I don't know where the other Steve and Edie really are.
They
right
are
now.
still, they still do concerts. They still go to Vegas, and every once in a while, yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and I have to say, I don't get any emails saying "God bless America" from Edie Falco. I do get them from Edie Gourmet, though.
Really?
Yes,
Edie Falco will take note of that and
I
start to God bless America
to get
emails.
my publicist, my agent, and my grandmother to deal with it.
Okay. Well, how did The Other Steve and Edie come about?
Stephen Wallem. Go on.
Well, all right. Well, we were doing an event for Nurse Jackie in the spring, and Miss Edie Falco turned to me after we did the whole photo thing, and I didn't see this coming at all. And she said, "You know what? I want to talk to you about something. There's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm nervous about doing it. I've always wanted to sing in public, so I want to do a cabaret, but the only way that I'll do it is if you do it with me." And after I picked my jaw up from the ground and checked my iPhone to see if I was free, I found a way of squeezing her into my busy cabaret schedule. So, yeah, because of that, she has miraculously given me the honor of helping her with her cabaret debut. And
the funniest thing is, I was kidding.
Whoops.
Suddenly, I'm apparently supposed to be somewhere Friday night.
Yeah.
I had other plans. I have children. All of a sudden.
Well, we're not really expecting you to show up anyway. That's why I brought my entire cabaret book to fill the evening.
Thank
Don't
goodness
worry.
gracious.
The posters are printed. You better be there.
Yeah.
And by the way, the posters,
Other Steve.
Yeah.
Have you seen? There you go. Now, the posters for the show, the ads, everything. I've seen your ads in the New York Times and other places. This is really a riff on the cover of, was it Two on the Aisle?
Two on the Aisle, yeah. I did a Google search just of Steve and Edie albums just to see pictures, just to see for inspiration, and that album cover came up, and I showed it to Edie and said, "What do you think about us just duplicating this, And she's like, "I'm all for it." And she even said, "Oh, I think I have an outfit that looks like hers." So come on.
We sound like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And I've got a barn in the backyard.
That's what this whole process has been
That's
about.
exactly what
So,
it's felt
yeah.
like. That's right.
And then my brilliant friend who designs my website and brilliant web designer in Chicago, Rob Dorn, took that. Yeah, you know Rob Dorn. Yeah, Ken and I know each other from Chicago. This is crazy time.
Going way back.
Yeah, and Rob did a brilliant job of recreating that, and we're just thrilled with it. It looks
great.
Now, Steve is, the seasoned cabaret performer. That he used to do this great show. I saw at Cafe Voltaire in 1992.
God, yeah.
I had to sneak in because I wasn't clearly old enough to get in there.
No, I barely was old enough.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Frank, get some water.
It's nothing. I'm sorry. I'm
But
fine.
Steve did the show called Off the Wallem, which actually you did last summer again here, like a new version of it. And so, but now for Edie, I mean, this is, you've done the Broadway stage, as we all know, but this is kind of new. Except I did read that you did My Fair Lady. Was it in high school?
Oh, my goodness
So
gracious.
you did
Is
sing.
nothing sacred.
How do they find these things out?
Yeah, right?
I did not tell them that.
I did my
Don't blame
research.
me.
Yeah, I did, but it was a suburban high school. The times were different back in the
Times were
day,
different.
and there were only 5 of
does
us
that
at the
mean?
school, so they needed chorus people, so they gave me one of the lodge parts.
Really? Who did you play? Do you remember?
What was the play you were talking about?
My Fair Lady.
Eliza.
You were Eliza.
Sure.
Oh my God, this is news to me too.
So are you going to be doing? So I guess you're not going to be doing.
You know what?
any of
You're
these
gonna-
shows.
you're gonna have to-
There's time.
We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do on Friday, so maybe I'll throw that in.
Well, that's a good question.
We should
What
start
are you-
rehearsing at some point. shouldn't we?
No, I want to wing it.
That's how you do it in this biz. So now, what are you going to be doing on Friday and Saturday?
I'm
and
not
Sunday?
saying.
Why?
it's a
no, I'm.
surprise.
We'll just
Partially because I really don't know.
Yeah, she
No
really
joke.
Yeah.
Mom is the word from Edie Falco,
Yeah.
but Stephen Wallem will tell you.
You
Yes,
know
what?
Well, first of all, she's a lot older than people think she
Oh,
is. She's
God.
a lot more like she's a lot more like Peggy Lee, where we have to sort of wheel her on in a wicker wheelchair with her giant glasses, and then I just whisper the lyrics into her ears, and she don't believe it.
I'm never going to be able to pull that off now. Everybody knows my secret.
I did hear that she did like to be called now forever Miss Edie Falco was the way you had to
no
refer
idea.
to her.
No,
The whole
it's
thing.
Ms. these days.
Ms. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Whatever
Miss
you,
Edie.
Edie, whatever you want is okay by me.
Oh.
Anything.
You'll be sorry you
Coffee,
said that.
Show, anything. So now, do you guys get on like a house on fire when you're doing Nurse Jackie as Thor and Jackie, and
Embarrassingly
is it
so.
like this?
I dare say.
She's unbelievable.
Well, everybody on the set, we really have an embarrassingly good time. It's kind of amazing that anything gets done, assuming that it does. We really we just laugh most of the time. It's kind of like there's no parents home.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of
Inmates
how
have
we're doing
taken
our
over these
show,
homes.
too.
Yes.
We're a little bit like we're in a basement just going, this is fun. Is this cute? Yeah, you sing that. Okay. Hopefully someone will show up.
Well, now, Edie, it was last time. Well, maybe it wasn't even last time now, but a few times ago when you were picking up a statuette, you said, "I'm not a comedian," and yet I assume we're going to see a very different side of Edie Falco when you perform with Stephen Wallem.
I have no idea. I really don't. I don't know how this stuff goes. I mean, I learned the words to a couple songs. And beyond that, I really don't know how it goes. I mean, it's not really...
She's a big
Gonna
fat
be
liar.
funny.
First of all, she's hilarious. It's because she doesn't.
Stephen,
no, but
stop
here's
it.
the thing. It's because of what she just said. It's because she doesn't think that she's funny. That's what makes her. There's nothing forced about it. She's naturally hilarious. She's otherwise. I would not be wasting my time. I don't care who you are.
That one hurt.
I need
That
to
one
be
hurt.
entertained as well. No, she's brilliantly funny and.
right.
She's going to deflect everything I say because she's been saying this forever. But she is a completely natural musician. She talks about how well, I don't read music and I'm not used to doing this, but everyone is going to see that this incredible actor is also just an inherent musician and a fantastic singer.
I'm nauseous.
No, it's true.
Let's really go in for the kill. Edie, you do. I mean, you have to know. I mean, well, you don't have to know it yourself, but we know it. You're an incredible actress. Not just like, oh, she's a good actress. Like, you're an incredible actress.
Thank you.
And we're not just blowing smoke. We're just because anybody who could follow up Carmela Soprano with Nurse Jackie, and you don't see one bead on a sweater of Carmela in the performance.
That's great.
That's
Thank
a
you.
really hard thing to do, and our hats are really off to you. Stephen, I got to ask you a question. How is it working? I mean, your sister's one of the creators of the show, right?
Yeah, how about that? But that
I know.
did
So
not
how
guarantee
is
me
that?
a job. Trust me.
I believe you.
I had to audition much harder than anybody else
for sure.
to get that, which actually makes it even that much more rewarding because it was never a case of we're just going to hand him something because I'm no spring chicken. I've been in this business, so but
Even though Rosie
I
thinks
audition
you
like
are.
everybody else. I know, I love
Rosie
that.
O'Donnell talked about Steve on her radio show, and she
Because
actually
we met at an event.
talked about this youngin', all the young kids starting out.
She said, I want to give advice to these young kids starting out. I'm like,
Oh, my
bless your heart,
God.
Rosie. You're only 4 years older than me. But I love that she thinks I'm a fresh young thing. Yeah.
Hard living for
No,
Rosie.
it's great. It's I'm still sort of catching up to it all because this is, and like Edie said, you kind of forget the scale of the show and the kind of the viewership that we have because it's such a blast on the set. You sort of you forget that it says, oh, by the way, this is going out to millions of people. You sort of you don't even think about that. And it's kind of shocking when I'm still shocked when people recognize me. I'm still getting used to that and realizing, holy cow, TV is unlike
It's a whole
anything
other
else.
kettle of
Whole
fish.
other kettle of fish.
So for both of you, do people actually assume you are these characters sometimes when they meet you? Do they say things that would be character specific, like, hey, I'm going to give you some insulin, or something like No, I mean, really, does this happen? Because I'm sure I've heard of celebrities, like somebody will yell at them, like, why did you do that last night? And you're like, it's my character.
I don't know. You probably
Yeah.
get that a lot more than I do.
Well, I have people coming up saying, I'm a nurse too. And like, I'm actually not a nurse, but thank you for watching the show. So yeah, they want to talk shop with me when they, if nobody's writing it down, I got nothing to say. So.
That's so
I have two aunts who are nuns, and they watch the show. And fans like we all are, and the sort of bending of the rules is something they really relate to. And knowing them, it's they were kind of infamous in the hospital that they retired from.
Did you say nuns?
You
Did
said
say
nuns.
Frank?
You said I have two aunts that are nuns. So we've been trying to figure
Nurses.
this out since you.
So I thought
There you go.
I haven't seen this episode.
Yeah, I don't. Did we play nuns at one point? I don't
Wait,
remember that.
now you do fly in the show, don't you, Edie? I thought,
You like me. You really, really like me.
she was from the hospital Santanco, and she did. No, it's not it. No, anyway, no nurses. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's all right.
Yes,
That's all right.
Nurses. They played nurses, and they were nurses who retired. When they retired, they were infamous for bending the rules. So when they were watching the show, they were like, "Oh yeah," they would, so
That's
they
funny.
love it big
'Cause
time.
I have no idea how reality based any of this is, if any of it is, because this is all I know. So, it's nice to get feedback from anybody, frankly, but from from nurses who say actually this stuff goes on all the time. So
Yeah. I have a friend who's a pharmacist at a hospital, and she says that the drug problems among the doctors and pharmacists is pretty staggering.
Holy mackerel.
Which is scary. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but that's what she told me.
No,
She said it's pretty accurate.
Well, there has
So-
been a lot of, of course, anytime something new comes up, somebody always wants to make a controversy out of it. And
Yeah.
of course, there's, from the day one, they're like, oh, how dare they show nurses in this light, nurses in
Right.
this light. And
Right.
what
Oh, really?
Edie has always said in every interview is, I'm not representing all, I'm going to speak for you now, if
No,
you don't
please
mind.
do.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm tired.
Yeah. She needs to take a little nap. No, it's just she's not representing. Well, none of us are representing all nurses. We're individual characters who happen to be nurses,
Right, who
and
happen to work in this
Who happen
hospital.
to work in this hospital, and we're all flawed, and everybody has flaws, no matter what field they're in. So you're just more flawed than most.
And so there's two things here. That Edie over here,
Yeah.
I feel funny calling you Edie. I don't know. It's
What
kind of
would
weird.
you
I don't-
like to call me?
Ms. Falco, Madame
please.
Falco.
For heaven's
I-
sake.
Yeah.
Moiselle,
Let me tell you
Moiselle.
something. Yeah.
Look at my sweatshirt. I look like a slob.
Something about Edie Falco you should know. She's very fancy. She's
Oh, my
all
gosh.
about fancy.
Well,
Do not look me in the eye.
Fancy Miss Edie over here is the first actress, also I read, who has won a Emmy for Best Actress in a Comedy and Best Actress in a Drama. And the other actor to have done that was Carol O'Connor. So you were in very
crazy.
good company. I mean, what is that? I mean, do you just freak out when you go, hey, look at me. I've got like a million SAG Awards and Emmys and all
How
these
many
things.
times have I said that, Stephen?
Right.
I'm just asking.
In the elevator, she looked at me and said, "Do you know how many SAG Awards I have?"
Well,
They
let me
said, "Yeah,
restate.
you
I don't
do."
mean like the fact, because me with awards, actually, I'm really funny about awards. Because in the 6th grade, you know, I helped the nun move the desks around, and I
It was a nurse. It was a nurse.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
And I suddenly got like this first prize for this art contest, and I it was not lost on me that it was because I helped her move the desk. So I've always been suspicious of awards.
There you go.
Always. I have.
That's
but
all there
Edie
is to say
Falco
about
does
that.
not move desks.
No.
Okay, she wins
For a
them
good
fair
price.
and square.
She went-
You should see what I had to do to get in the building today, Frank, without
Oh,
you here.
taxi.
I mean, yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, when you're there, when you're going, you went to SUNY Purchase, I believe, with Mr. Stanley Tucci, who you were in Frankie and Johnny and
Right.
Claire de Lune. Oh my God, that was so great.
Thanks.
And here I am geeking out. But when you are, you know, in school and you're studying and you're doing this, and you too, Steve. Do you ever
No,
think?
don't include me like.
But do you
know,
ever
out
think
of
someday?
being polite. Oh, you've been on Broadway, Edie, and you
Things
too,
have
Steve,
gotten-
have done
But
things.
when you're
No, I'm
when you're
kidding.
studying and
The
you're doing
tension
this,
is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
what would you tell the fellow students out there? What would you tell the kids about, you know, or any actor who's trying? I mean, because come on, did you ever think you'd be on the red carpet doing stuff?
No, and that is the heaven's honest truth. I never really did it, and you know, I'm reluctant to say this, but I didn't really want to. You know what I mean? It's a sort of a side effect of the fact that I'm able to do this for a living. This is part and parcel of my job. But this is never what I was aiming for. You know what I mean? There's some people who are really built for this stuff, and I'm not. It's actually been a bit of an adjustment for me to make. But like anything else, you get used to it. And, of course, there are fantastically great things about it. But it really is just part of my job. And the awards things, you know, I really do struggle with that stuff. It's a lot of it is it's about the business, and it's politically motivated or however else, but it never really feels completely about who did the best job and how can you compare 5 different actresses doing 5 different things anyway. Exactly. Oh, don't get me started. But that's that's how I
Edie,
feel
you
about it.
have a great thing that's such a rarity in our culture now. You're famous for having talent. Okay, that's not a lot of that going on anymore in television. You know, it's
thank you.
you're just really incredible. I want to tell people as our anniversary present, our great white gay on the Great White Way, Mr. Ken Kleiber, brought us not only Edie Falco but also Stephen Wallem, and they are of course the stars, 2 of the stars of Nurse Jackie. Thor, Stephen plays Thor, and also they're doing a show, The Other Steve Edie, in New York this weekend. Now, where are you doing your show?
It's at the Laurie Beechman Theatre, which is at 42nd Street and 9th. And it's you actually have a history with that space. You
I
said.
do, yeah. I did a reading many years ago of a play called Sideman there, which was supposed to be just a weekend kind of thing, and then it ended up running for about 4 years in its various incarnations.
It's kind of cool that we're sort of coming full
Yeah, it
circle.
really
when
is actually
I told
very
her looking at the
intense,
space,
yeah.
and yeah, it's a great space. It's a sort of combination theater, cabaret, supper club.
Yeah.
It's kind of a throwback to. It feels like a throwback to the old supper clubs of the 50s and 60s, which I think is great for the other Steve Edie. As a matter of fact.
Well, if the show goes as well as we imagine it's going to, which
Yes.
hotel in Vegas do you hope to take it to?
Across the street from Donnie and Marie. That's how I want to
Yes.
be. I wanna
Isn't
get-
that Cher or Celine
Cher-
Dion now?
Celine
You might have
Dion.
to kick them out. But
Will Cher ever say goodbye? I
She
never
will.
will.
Now, Steve, I have to ask you something. Going way back into my memory bank, did you once share cheese fries with Liza Minnelli at the Melrose Diner in Chicago?
I did. Isn't
Oh,
that the
my
weirdest thing?
gosh.
Is that not the gayest story you've ever heard in
tell.
your life?
So what
Yeah.
happened?
You know what? Well, it goes back to my sister, who was friends with Liza, good friends with Liza back in the early '90s, and Liza and Billy Stritch were doing a concert in Chicago, and I went to see it, and we ended up hanging out with the entourage afterwards, and we hit 2 or 3 different places, and she went singing, and we met up with Joe Pesci. It was crazy, and this was
That was probably the
so
least likely
foreign.
name to come up in
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And then we ended up. It was like 2 a.m, and they were. Liza turns to me and she said, "So where can I get cheese fries?" And all I could think of was in my neighborhood, the Melrose Diner in Chicago, in Boys Town,
the Melrose
which is
Diner.
the Melrose. Yeah,
Many a late night.
I live
Melrose
just
Diner.
blocks from it, and that's all I could think of. And so I call, or they have Billy Stritch calls up the Melrose to make a reservation at this diner, and I hear him saying, "Yeah, table for 10 for Manelli," and I'm, and this restaurant's used to drag queens coming in, everyone dressed like Liza, and that's kind of what happened. We went and sat there. There was a group of maybe 6 of us, and people, I think, barely paid attention because there would be drag queens coming in and out, and so they probably just thought, "Oh, that's another Liza drag queen," not knowing that was really her. And we sat across from each other, and I got a little glimpse of that kind of crazy Jesus-like fame where people, once the word got out, and of course our waiter was, that was insane to sort of see people literally not even know how to speak. And for someone who, that's all she's known her entire life. So it was... But it was very moving, and it's the only time I ever got to spend with her, and it was kind of this one sort of strange, iconic evening.
That's one to tell the kids, though. That's pretty...
Yeah, come on.
She's friends with Liza. Who else
She's friends with Liza, right?
It's a whole nother world. And now, Edie, I know that you have your show coming up this weekend, The Other Steve Edie, but you're also going to be back on Broadway in April, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
House of Blue Leaves.
I know.
I love that play.
With Ben Stiller.
Oh, yeah?
Ben Stiller and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That's right. Yes. I saw that play when it was here, 15 years ago or something, and it was one of those, you know what I mean, that sticks with you because it was spectacular and very moving. And so another full circle thing is to suddenly be entering into that world. So.
Who are you playing, Edie?
I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
I don't know what the theater is. I don't know what I'm playing.
She always waits for the first read-through.
Oddly enough, her name is
down the
Bananas. I'm playing Bananas.
Oh, Bananas.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Come on.
What's her name?
And
No,
now,
I know. I know.
And now, when you do 8 shows a week, obviously it's different than showing up and doing TV. And even though I ask this all the time, I already think I know the answer. Do you prefer TV or stage, or is there not a difference?
There is a difference, but there is no preference in my mind, just because they are part of the same thing. They're part of this fantastically great thing that I get to do, and I'm lucky because I get to do both of them, and if I'm doing a TV show for too long, I really start to miss theater, and by the end of a long run, I'm ready to, do anything but that. So it's kind of a perfect situation.
Now, when you were doing Night Mother, which I saw as well on Broadway with Brenda Blethyn, I always say the name wrong, but that show, that's a hell of a show to get to sit through in the audience. Literally at the end, there was a woman who was sitting next to me who just howled. She was sobbing, crying, howling at the end of that show. How do you psych yourself up for something like that?
Well,
and what is the breakdown time after every performance?
No, if you ever get the opportunity to meet Brenda Blethyn, it will all become very clear. She's one of the funniest women I have ever met in my life, and we started laughing when we met and stopped on closing night. We just laughed our fool heads off, which I'm sure is no accident that we were doing a play with some gravity, that it all became about cracking each other up.
Really?
Yeah, we knew the work had to be done and we had to tell the story, but everything that was not a line in the play was something we were doing to make each other laugh.
So would you two, each one of you, would you align yourself, is there any sort of school of acting you would align yourself to, this one's the method or the Meisner or the blah, 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 or is it to you just all go out there, read the lines, as they say, don't knock over the furniture?
Yeah. That's about it. That's where I'm coming from.
I once had a teacher who said if you can't get out of the character within about 10 minutes after the show and you're still living it, maybe there's something wrong. If you're still literally in character with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's not in my mind, that's not a good actor. That's someone who needs therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll speak for someone that works with her, and again, she's going to deflect everything that I say. But you were asking earlier about what would you say to a young actor, and I have said since day one of working with Miss Falco that if every young actor could come and be on our set for a week and just observe sort of a textbook example of somebody who is a complete pro, and Edie is about the work. She's there to do the work. She is gracious and kind and funny and personable to everybody, and I have yet to see somebody say a negative thing about working with Edie ever, and you look at some of these younger actors that are so caught up in the fame, and especially now where fame can come so instantly because of technology. And I think it's a testament to Edie coming from the theater, too, that it's such an example of, because when you're in the theater, you're there to work. It's not about the trappings, because there rarely are any trappings, and there rarely are any frills at all. And she brings that to the set, and it all starts with her. And so there is no, if she's even in the most intense scene, she doesn't stay in that to the point of ostracizing the rest of the cast or crew, or nobody talk to Edie right now. She's upset. She's a very meat and potatoes kind of actor, if I may say that, which is great. I mean, it's truly there's no frills. It's about the work, and clearly we all know it works.
I love to hear that.
We've
That's
all
very
seen
sweet
it,
of you, Stephen.
Well, but it's true too.
I can't add anything to that, but what a gorgeous way to end our time together. This was beautiful.
Oh,
And thank you for
so
the,
much.
Sweet.
Thank you for the anniversary.
And happy anniversary.
present.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll all sing a little happy anniversary to you. What? No.
What? Oh, yeah. No, they have to pay to hear us sing. They have to pay.
Exactly. That's right. On
This
Friday,
weekend.
Saturday, and Sunday. I think Friday's sold out, you said, isn't
Friday's
it?
sold out, but there's a waiting list, but there's still some tickets for Saturday and Sunday, I think. So
All I ask is that you dedicate all 3 performances of the Other Steve Edie to our show.
that
the Frank
is
DeCaro
so very
Show.
little to ask. Of course,
That-
we will.
Way ahead of you.
Thank you. Stephen Wallem, Edie Falco, Kenny Kleiber. I'm so thrilled that all 3 of you were here to be at our anniversary party, and we're huge fans of you guys, and we will keep watching Nurse Jackie. We will be there for the Other Steve Edie if we're in town. If I was in town, I'd be knock,
If
knock,
anybody
knock.
gets into
Okay.
New York from anywhere else in the country, right?
That's right. If you could actually get it.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, please come back and visit us again.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Appreciate it.
And all our love and respect. You're listening to The Frank Show on OutQ, Sirius 109 XM 98.